explode up, make it come all at the same time.
This is the Rick Chamberlin Show, an up-close look at Dayton Flyers football through the eyes of the coach.
Get width and depth, square up, that's it.
Now, here's your host, Mike Hartzell.
Right there, that's it.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rick Chamberlin Show. And, Coach, you hang around long enough, you're going to get a first in just about everything. And yesterday we had a first, both of us, with Dayton Flyer football, and that the game was called off with 7 minutes and 46 seconds left to play, luckily with the Flyers comfortably in front.
Right. I told the team after the game, I said, you guys are a part of history now, because that is, to my knowledge, my first time a game was called before it was completed there. But it was the right decision with the weather, and Davidson, they had to get on planes and head back, so that's why we did it.
Weather got progressively worse. The first half was okay. It was dry, it was cloudy, a little windy, but the weather got progressively worse, and they saw lightning. And if you don't know anything about football these days with the way things are, the referees are the weather people. They judge this. They see lightning in the sky. They send everybody in the locker room, get everybody out of the stands, and then every time they see, it's a half an hour delay.
Yep.
And then if they see it 25 minutes in, it starts another half hour delay.
Yeah, that's the protocols there, where anytime you see lightning, it's 30 minutes from that point on. And we knew a cell was coming through, and so it was going to be really pushed back. So, again, it was the right decision both for Davidson and for us.
Speaking about being a part of history, the Flyers were almost as well, as Connor Kasser was 7 yards shy of a single-game rushing record with 244 yards.
Yeah, we were told that after the game, both Connor and myself. We didn't know he was that close. I knew he was having a good day and carrying the ball a lot. Robert Washington had a foot injury there, and so that's why Connor was carrying the ball more. And he was having a great day, but Connor's the type of young man, he just loved the win. Records are nice, but to have a winning game, that's better.
All right, let's take you out to a windy and wet welcome stadium. We get things started on the opening drive. Do the Flyers as Will Bardo scrambles out of the pocket and does a nice job into Davidson territory.
That's one of his attributes, of course, Mike. Everybody knows he's a great runner, and so if it's not there by the pass, he'll just take off.
Rolling out this time, finding the receiver down to the 20-yard line, then rolling the other way, and somebody's wide open. You guys, that was hurry-up offense that time, got up there quickly and kind of confused them.
Confused them. They didn't get lined up properly and got their coverage.
Flyers playing some defense on the ensuing possession. The run defense stopping things up front and then getting the ball back. Now, we're going to slow this down a little bit right there. Actually, we didn't slow it down, but it's kind of out of shape there, but they blocked their own punt.
They did. They had two punters in there, and one young man was supposed to get in front of the other, and it came right off his back of his head.
So the Flyers get a short field to work with, and Bardo does exactly that. This time he goes outside and showing some athleticism, diving into the end zone for the touchdown. Flyers go up 14-0.
It's a great read by Will there, because it's either give the ball to the runner or keep it, and he made the right one there.
Okay, so this is looking way too easy. Here comes Kasser around the outside, pushing the ball up the field, up to midfield, then give it to him again up the middle. The offensive line opening some huge holes, and he's just clipped down there about the 10-yard line, about the 15-yard line, but that's where this drive stalls.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing. We got to a 4th and 2 there, and we just couldn't bang it in.
Drive stalls, and the Flyers turn it over. Now we're in the second quarter. The pitch on the outside, this is what starts happening in the second quarter.
Second quarter, Mike, and it was very similar to what happened against Marist. Started off so well, and then the second quarter, our offense kind of took a dip there.
But they couldn't get much going, so the Flyers take over deep in their own territory, and another mistake is Will threw it to the wrong jersey.
I thought offensively we played very well up till that second quarter, and then we picked it back up.
But your defense really played well here. They get the ball inside the 5-yard line, and this is a 4th down play, and it's incomplete, and you take over on down.
That was a big momentum shift there. I mean, all once Davidson got some positives going, and we were able to keep them out of the end zone.
Rolling out of the pocket this time, Bardo picks up some yardage. This is late in the second quarter, looking to get some points on the board before halftime.
Yeah, we still had enough time, and if we could get it down here, we knew Willie Will had the strong enough leg. He had the wind behind him. So it gave us some opportunity to kick.
Hit a receiver over the middle, you get the field goal, and the Flyers head into the locker room with a 17-0 lead. Like you said, offensively early, it was looking real good. Got a little sloppy in the second quarter.
Second quarter, sloppy. That's a good word for it, Mike, there with the fumbles and missed passes, the fourth down, couldn't convert on that there. But I thought we regrouped well at halftime there, and the offense came out very strong in the second half.
As a coaching staff, when you go into the locker room at halftime after running up and down the field the first two possessions, do you say, okay, guys, got to focus, got to refocus, because we were looking easy and maybe you thought it was too easy?
That's the point that we bring up, because as a good team, you need to keep that intensity, that focus throughout 4 quarters, no matter what the situation, whether you're behind by 2 touchdowns or you're ahead by 2 touchdowns. You got to keep the same attitude, and I thought we got a little lackadaisical.
And as the second half was starting, the weather was starting to roll in, so let's take a look at second half highlights. Here comes Connor Kasser right out of the gate, carrying tacklers and getting some big yards into Davidson territory. Then this time, he goes into the line, spins out of a tackle, and 32 yards later finds the end zone.
The good thing about Connor is his burst of speed. He has the best burst of all of our running backs.
So the Flyers go up 24-0. Davidson trying to make something happen, but not that time.
No, Nathan Sudnick made a very good play on a draw there.
Flyers get it back again. Bardo keeps it himself this time and keeps the drive alive. Then here on third down, is going to go for the end zone, just overthrows the receiver. You have to settle for a field goal and take a 27-0 lead at this point, as the Flyers still come away with points. And then finally, they get a big play on a flea flicker.
On a flea flicker, our safety came running up. He bit on it too soon, and then they got behind us there.
The flag was for a defensive interference, but they go into the end zone for the touchdown. They get the 2-point conversion, 27-8 with about 5 minutes left to play in the third quarter, but more Connor Kasser just takes off down the sideline. He was getting them in chunks.
He was. Big yardage here, and that's good to see. That's something we need out of Connor, and then Will here made another great read.
They start biting on Connor Kasser, and Will's going to take off and hurt you as well. This time inside to Kasser. Another burst of speed like you talked about. He was 3 yards in and then was gone.
And then gone. And once he gets by that first line of defense there.
Ensuing possession for Davidson. Their first play is brought back the other way by Chris Beechler.
It was a very good drop by Chris there, trying to hit over the middle. And Chris is a good athlete at linebacker and able to score his first college touchdown.
Goes into the end zone for the touchdown. 40-8 was the score. That's when they started sending them into the locker room and sending the fans out of the stands with 7:45 left to play. The Flyers go on to win it by the final of 40-8. Dayton goes to 1-1 in Pioneer League play. Davidson goes to 0-2, and the Wildcats are certainly struggling.
They're struggling, and they have a lot of players hurt right now. I think their head coach was telling them they're down to 60 players, healthy players, Mike. And that makes it tough in your preparation during the week, and then, of course, when you get into the game there.
Speaking of healthy players, first half, second quarter, I guess it was, Brandon Dunn went down, and he went down pretty hard.
He went down hard. I was concerned there right at this when I saw it happen, and we didn't bring him back in. And after the game, our trainer, Phil Wilkerson, told me, he said, it's an ankle sprain. It's not too severe. He could have gone back in with a good tape job, but we just decided to keep him out.
Okay, the Flyers pride themselves in an outstanding coaching staff behind Rick Chamberlin. Yesterday, they added another member to that. When we come back on the Rick Chamberlin Show, we will introduce you to the new head coach, at least the new head coach for one game. That and more in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Rick Chamberlin Show. And Coach, we don't usually have assistant coaches on your show, but we're joined by Mike Winter today. He was an assistant coach for one day yesterday. Mike, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us about this, Coach. What was happening?
What we do, Mike, we have a big golf outing in the summertime. It's a fundraiser for our GA positions, and we have auction items there, and one of the auction items is Coach for a Day, in which people will bid on that opportunity to come, and they're a coach for the day. They're at our pregame meal with the players. They come in with the coaching staff in the pregame meeting. They're on the sideline, and they get to call a play. They have 3 plays to choose from. ahead of time, and they have their decision made when we call upon them.
Now, Mike, you're no stranger to Dayton football because your son Ryan played a few years ago for the Flyers on the offensive line. So this was nothing new to you, but what made you want to do this?
Oh, well, we was at their golf tournament, and the buddies of mine that I brought down with me thought I needed to do this, so they purchased it for me.
Now, the good thing is it's the best seat in the house down there on the sidelines.
It sure is.
Now, you had your choice of plays, and we're going to show you here on the sidelines. We are not going to show the play you picked because I thought you would have called a tackle-eligible play because your son played tackle. But they didn't give you that one in your choices of plays. And, what play did you call?
Well, I called, it was I forget off what it was, but it was supposed to be a deep route to the corner. And it didn't quite work out that way.
The ball never got out of the quarterback's hand. Because go figure, one of those offensive linemen must not have blocked or something.
Might have been a tackle. Must have been a tackle.
Somebody got in. What's it mean to you to not just be a part of this, but for your family to be a part of Dayton football?
Oh, it was a great 4 years when Ryan played down here. Just the neat experience of the kids playing and getting to know people and the system and things like that, and just a big happy family.
Yeah, I guess it was a good thing yesterday to see the win, but hanging around all those guys on the sidelines, you've been around football for a long time with Ryan, but you hang around these younger kids, and it's an attitude on the Dayton sideline that's really positive, and it's fun to be around, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, they're out there, they're playing because they're not getting money to play. They're out there to play because they love the game.
Coach, you look at a guy like this who helps the program by putting in money in something like this for the golf outing. That's important because it's interesting because he's an assistant coach for a day who is helping out assistant coaches with this kind of money.
Exactly, and we've always said, Mike, the success that we've enjoyed over these many years is not just because of a coaching staff, the head coach, assistants, whatever. We're all in this together. Families are a big part of this. Our supporters are a big part of this. We could never be the success that we have been without everybody being a part of it.
So, Mike, is the coaching career over? One day, you done?
I think it's over.
Okay, but you know what? It's over with a win.
It's over with a win. That's right.
You're 1-0. 1-0.
Mike Winter, thank you very much for joining us. And we're going to take another break. When we come back, we will talk about the Dayton Flyers on the defensive side. Howard Savage, one of the seniors in the secondary. That and more in just a couple of minutes, so don't go away. Welcome back to the Rick Chamberlin Show. And Coach, you're a secondary or a linebacker guy, but a defensive guy. And in your secondary, you've got some outstanding seniors that lead the way. One of them is one of your cornerbacks, Howard Savage, plays really good football.
I tell you, Howard's been a big part of our defense, our team for 4 years, Mike. He was one of the few freshmen who came in and played. He was on all of our special teams. It was a backup at corner as a freshman, and then he took over that position as a sophomore. So he's been a mainstay back there.
That was a good get out of Warren Central High School in Indianapolis. Howard was the captain of a state championship team. That's really good football over there.
Oh, it's great football. I tell you, they're always ranked as one of the top teams in the country, not just in the state of Indiana. And Howard was a leader on that team, and he's been a leader on our team. He's going to graduate in May with a criminal justice degree. So we've been very fortunate to have Howard for 4 years.
They call it being out on an island playing cornerback in football. Had a chance to talk with Howard about his job and his senior season.
When I first came in, I was used to making so many plays and being so many places on the defense, doing so many different things, and now you come to college and they need you to do your job, only do your job. And I mean, it's a big part, but it's a big change, and it makes a big difference in that team ball game.
Howard Savage is that rare player that didn't sit around much as a freshman. The Indianapolis native has never backed down from a one-on-one matchup.
You got to perform well under pressure. You got to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And I just like being out there because when it's one-on-one, it's really who's better than the other person. And so I like that. We always have to win one-on-one matchups. That's the key thing for us out there. And so you can't just win one-on-one matchups and then expect to be bullied around. You kind of got to bully the other person. You got to be tougher all the time.
Savage missed the back half of last season with an ankle injury. Now, physically, he has all the tools, but playing cornerback requires more than that.
Yeah, it's all mental. If you become a student of the game, it just makes everything slow down, and then you can use your physical abilities when you start off mentally strong. if you know everything that's going on, everything just seems so simple and easy, and then you can really, your abilities come into play and you can really showcase your skills.
With time running out on his Flyers career, Howard admits it's easy to get nostalgic about being a part of the program.
I remember freshman year getting here for camp and not knowing where to go, being lost on campus in August. I mean, it's just thinking back about the guys playing here during camp freshman year, we were on the grass fields, and these are the same guys I'm playing win the championship with these years, starting now. When we all came in freshmen, like it goes by real fast.
Unfortunately ironic for Howard last year. He broke his leg. He's an Indianapolis native, broke his leg at Butler in a game.
At Butler, and gave us a hit there, Mike, because he is, like I said, such good at corner, but also special teams. He's all over the field.
Yeah, he plays on your kick and punt returns and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So that's a big help, and he's one of those guys. You actually have two corners that are seniors that really protect you on both sides.
They do. Kyle Sabetic, fifth-year senior on the other side there, and you've always heard defensive coaches talk. If you got two good corners, you can do a lot with your defenses, and that's what we have at Dayton.
All right, the Flyers get their first win in Pioneer Football League play. They now take it on the road this week for the first time ever, going down to DeLand, Florida, to take on the Stetson Hatters. That and more when the Rick Chamberlin Show continues, so don't go away. Welcome back to the Rick Chamberlin Show. And coaches, we talk about the Pioneer Football League and the way things are playing out right now. They are playing out in favor of a couple of teams that you thought we were going to have. And Butler is 2-0, and then you've got San Diego at 2-0. We'll see San Diego here in a couple of weeks. But those are the two teams that are right up there at the top right now.
Right now, along with Marist, who won again Saturday, which is a very good team. But again, schedule is still in our favor because we got to play those teams, and Marist has got to play those teams also, San Diego and Butler. And that's just the way the Pioneer Football League is, Mike. Every week, it's going to be a challenge for us, and it's going to be a challenge for our opponents.
The interesting thing about the Pioneer Football League, you expanded this year to add a couple more teams in Stetson and Mercer. Now, Mercer's going to leave after one season, but Stetson's going to be there for a while, and Stetson's a good add to this league.
They are. Stetson is very similar to all the other teams in the PFL, very good academic school. Their head coach, Roger, came from the Ivy Leagues, coached at Brown University, was a head coach there for several years and an assistant at others. So he has that mentality as far as the type of young men he wants in his program there. And they're doing it upright. Fantastic facilities down there, recruiting young men. We even ran into them because we recruit Georgia. And there was two young men that we were recruiting, and unfortunately we didn't get them to come up north. They wanted to go down to Florida, I guess, Mike.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from Stetson from earlier this season, and they play it pretty well on both sides of the football. Now they're only 1-4 by way of a record right now, but they've got some athletes.
They got athletes. I mean, down in Florida, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have young men that are very athletic, and what we see out of Stetson and our initial look is they're young, but they're sound in what they're doing. It's not helter-skelter on offense or defense there. The young men, you can see that they know what they're supposed to do. They just physical development and experience in the college speed of the game now.
And keep that in mind, they've got a fake field goal.
I saw that
they run. Yeah, they do run a fake field goal, and they obviously made that work. They have an outstanding running back I've seen here from this guy right here. Don't know his name, but they have a couple of outstanding running backs.
They do, and again, it's that Florida speed that you would expect from down there. And again, with Roger leading the program and things, they're going to just get better and better each year.
Quarterback gets away from pressure and throws it down the field for a nice gain. So the game is coming up Saturday. It's a 1 o'clock game down in DeLand, Florida. You can listen to Larry Hansgen and Mike Kelly do the play-by-play call live on News Talk 1290 WHIO Radio. As we said, Stetson is 1-4. This is a program much like Mercer that didn't play football for a while. They played football, but then they took a long break, and now they're back at it. This is their first year back at it.
This is their first year back. Last year they played a few like JV games that their varsity played JV programs from other schools there. But as I said, they're doing things right. Mercer and Stetson. Stetson's going to be with us, like I said, because they fit the PFL here. But they've got a good foundation of what they're doing, Mike. And that's what I like about them. That's what I like about all the PFL programs are the foundation, the support from the schools there, and how they're building for the future. I liken Stetson very similar to Campbell, who joined our conference a number of years ago, and that they're getting the base and then they're going to build from that.
DeLand, Florida, for those of you that don't know, is between Daytona Beach and Orlando. You'll go into Orlando when you leave.
Yeah, we were very fortunate. We're going to be flying out Friday morning there, and we got a direct flight to Orlando, which is always nice. When you're traveling with 75 people, I know Dick Netzley, he loves that, our operations director, where now you don't have to stop at one place, get all those players and people off, make sure they get to the next gate, make sure luggage gets transferred and all those things there. So having a direct flight will be a big advantage.
Go back to yesterday just briefly. You know one thing, there were some disappointed players on the Flyers sideline because that final 7:45, there were some guys that were going to get in that don't play a lot of football, and they didn't get a play. That's unfortunate.
That was unfortunate. That was the only thing that was negative about telling Paul, yes, let's go ahead and call the game there. And I heard a story after the game, one of the mothers of a player who was going to go in. She had her camera all ready, and she could tell he was on the sideline. He was going to run out with the offense. He's an offensive guard, and right then and there is when they called the game. So she didn't get her picture of him running out on the field.
That's an unfortunate thing. But, you know, one thing that you were talking about the golf outing, the Tony Ernst golf outing that Mike was a part of for being the coach here. It's interesting because that check was presented yesterday. That's a big check for this program.
I tell you, we've been averaging between $18,000 and $20,000 each year off of this golf outing. And again, it's a support from families and alums, former players. We usually have about 120 to 130 golfers, and about half or a little over half are former players who come back from all generations, all years that come back and get teammates together to have foursomes there, and then family members like Mike, who was a part of it there, that their sons played at Dayton there. And it is a big, big help to us on the memory of Tony Ernst, which was interesting and was great because yesterday, Mike, we honored the 1993 first PFL championship team, and Tony Ernst was the starting quarterback that team.
All right, that's going to do it. Coach and I will be back next Sunday from Orlando to talk about Dayton and Stetson. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday.